This is my Bluepoint Toolbox, which I picked up for a good deal online. It was listed in the city next to mine, so I drove a little bit, picked it up, brought it back. And this is the future home of my granite surface plate, and then all the tools for the surface plate will go in that box. So what I'm doing today is the caster wheels are coming off, and instead we're going to put these on. These are heavy duty legs that I can adjust the height on, and got these from MSC because they're fast with the shipping, and these are pretty heavy duty. They're about $20 each. So yeah, I'm going to put these and take the casters off and replace with these so I can level the whole box. I cut this pad to fit the granite plate as well, and then I selected this box because it fits the dimensions of the granite plate and gives me a little bit extra on the side, so it's not just, you know, right up to the edge. I didn't want something like that. So this box will have a permanent spot right back there, and this also gives me the space I need for this stuff. So the normal machinist box that Gerstner makes is nice and great, but it won't fit one of these in there, and this will. And there's a bunch of things I have that's bulky and big like this, and so this box will fit that. And then I also have, you know, for the lighter, thinner stuff can go in these smaller drawers. So this will be a good granite plate station, and everything that I need will be there, and hopefully it'll work out the way I think it will. I think it'll be just perfect. So yeah, this is a good box. It's not as expensive as a snap-on box, but it's still pretty heavy duty. I mean, this is pretty solid, so I'm really happy with it. And there's the surface plate waiting for a new home, and it's pretty dang heavy. So that's a lab grade plate that I got. I wanted as fine as I could get. So we're gonna get to work on this and get that its new home. There it is. Those legs are a little shorter. It's gonna bring the box down a little bit, but I think what I'm gonna do is see about mounting these inside of this box beam. What I may end up having to do though is get a steel box beam from the steel yard and mount that beam, drill it and mount it to this, and then mount these inside that beam, and that could give me the height back that I want. And I'm still not sure how this will mount in here. I got an extra wide washer for distributing the load on this. So I'm going to decide, I'm probably going to go get the steel box beam and do it that way. It's just cutting the ends to size and drilling some holes, and that's really it. It wouldn't be that difficult. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've got, I think, everything I need. I got my, I got 3" by 3" square tubing, and this is going to be cut in half, and then half here and half there, and then my legs. Got my tools sorted out. I don't have a big enough drill bit, so I'm going to drill as much as I can up to this size, and then hopefully we can get through the rest with one of these. So I got this cut in half, and I'm no good with the angle grinder at all. Some people can cut really super straight with those things, but not me. So I'm going to trim these up, but I'm going to have these run to right to there, even with the box. And then these are going to come right to about there. So the first thing, I'm just going to go ahead and get this cut close with the angle grinder, and then I'll switch it to a flap disc, and then I'll just get it, you know, ground in nice and close so it looks halfway decent. I mean, you're never going to see this anyway, but eventually I'll have a cut-off saw and I'll be able to cut that like a normal shop would. So this will give me a little extra, it'll change the center of gravity on this toolbox. And I was originally wanting to use 3x4 inch so that it would come out to here, so that I could, you know, get the center of gravity as far out to each corner as or not the center of gravity, but the legs as far out to each corner as I could to affect the center of gravity. Because this box is going to have a lot of weight on it. I mean, that granite surface plate, I think, is 250 pounds, and it's going to be sitting on the top of this. So, you know, it'll probably be just fine, but I come from earthquake country, and so, you know, I've been in every major earthquake that California has had since 1971 quake, and I, you know, grew up in a mechanics family, been in a shop my whole life, and believe me, a good earthquake will knock these things over, especially if they're top heavy. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever, you know, see that happen here. It's never happened to my stuff, but I have seen it happen. But yeah, I've seen cars, you know, come off the lifts and stuff. You know, we'd put the cars up overnight, we'd raise them up and let them sit up in the air on the hoist. And I don't know why, that's what the boss wanted, so that's what we did. You know, after the Northridge quake, I mean, we came in and you know, half the cars were no longer on the lift, and they were badly damaged. Other cars stayed on the lift just fine. I have no explanation for it, because all the lifts were the same that we had in the shop, the heavy-duty scissor lifts. But yeah, I just don't want any issues. Once this is planted, then you know, I'll be able to level the box at the feet, and so the level of the stone will be taken care of here at the feet. And you can see this is really, really nice and heavy duty steel. It'll give me the extra length, and I'm still going to be a little short, but the height of the block of the surface plate is 4 inches, so that'll make up for anything I'm lacking. So this'll turn out perfect, and this should handle the point loading along with the big heavy washer to kind of spread that out. And then I'm also close to this sidewall here, so that'll give me a lot of strength. I don't think it'll be a problem at all. I think it'll be just fine. You know, and if it is, I can always, you know, add a piece of steel here or something, reinforce it. But this is really heavy steel compared to this. It's not thin like that at all, so I think it'll be fine. Okay, so since I'm no good cutting with an angle grinder, the rest of this is going to get sanded off with the flap disc until I reach that line, which I've got all the way around. And then that'll finish that up. So you can see I got this sanded in. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than if I tried to cut it with the angle grinder the first time. So the next thing we're going to be doing is figuring out where our mounting holes are going to be drilled, and then where the holes for these are going to be drilled, and the way these are going to be situated. I don't want these extending out this way, but I want to try to inch this a little this way as much as I can, and of course that's going to be limited by the washer, and that's about, with the inner diameter, that's about where that's gonna put me. So probably now another thing I'm thinking of, I'm not sure yet, I might, you know, grind off a little bit of this to inch this closer. But that's going to really kind of depend on how close I can butt this nut up against this sidewall, which would be beneficial because then, you know, I could tighten and loosen a lot easier. And just tighten from here. So those are things I'm still not sure yet. You know, I don't want to go too far this way and then I screw myself over. But that'll definitely spread the center of gravity out farther in these directions. All right, so I got 8 of these stainless steel bolts. I cut the heads off of them, and I ground a tip onto them, and I got this idea from YouTube. And then, so I'm loading this up in the drill chuck, so I can hold it here and spin it on the grinder. And then once I got the rest done, then I will cut that off and then back feed it into here until just the tip is sticking up. And then I'm gonna transfer the marks from there onto the beam. So when I get all these done, then I'll set this up and we'll show you how this is all going to work. And then I just happen to have the right size tap to tap these thread holes, because some of them are a little dingy, like this one here. So yeah, this is perfect. It's nice and clean. That's what I want. So I got 4 of the nubs done. I got them installed. 4 there and 4 over there. And I've marked off my beam with dye, and I've already had this on here, and I've gone around to all of these with the feeler gauge to make sure they're all making contact. Once I get this back on here, I'm going to double check it, then we'll smack it with the hammer and set all the points where I'm going to drill. So it was a lot of work to do that because you don't have a lot to work with. I had to lock them into there and then put that in the drill and then grind the back end of the thread so that I could thread it in backwards. So it was a little bit of work, but it's only 8 of them. Now that I got them, they'll go in my toolbox for future use. Probably never use them again. So we're lined up. I double checked with the feeler gauge. Now we're ready to hit it. There we go. That's it. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Look at there. 4 spots. 4 spots. We did it. That's what we wanted. That's what we got. So I will punch those holes with the punch to make sure they're solid, and then that'll get drilled out. So these little things worked great. And of course, you need a thin feeler gauge to make sure that they're all touching equally, because otherwise, you know, you're gonna not get all the bolt holes, obviously. And now we're just down to this. We're gonna locate the holes for this, get those drilled out. Then I'm gonna clean this up with the wire wheel, paint it, And then after that dries, we'll get all this assembled and get the box tipped over, get the granite plate on it, and then start leveling it up. And then we'll be done with our project. We're almost there.